Another thing's in that legal and illegal will get health care. And the ones who will pay that is the poor little abortions that will never make it, and that's old people who are retired. Page 42. Any person, there will be a panel that will tell you exactly what kind of health care or health care plan that you will have. Page 26. Exactly. We will pay for union health care, and the blessed be the Congress and the Senate will have their own special care. And if you want to find out more about what Curtis Blackwood has got, go on to his email, curtis.blackwood@ncled, curtis.blackwood@ncled, and he's got these pages, and I've got another number I wished you would call, and that is called 202-224-3121, and you can talk to any of your legislators or to the president. And I'm really tore up about this thing. I'm scared to death for our country. Thank you.
Well, it sounds like, John, you and Brad both have some great information on the health care that I'm afraid this fall we will see this thing passed. And I've said before, a good example of government-run health care is your local veterans hospital and the history of it. Unfortunately, some countries maybe can have a government-run health care or government-run programs, but the track record of the federal government, of our government, to run most anything is very alarming.
I concur 100%. And also, I mean, once this health care does come out, it's going to be the cheapest thing on the block. So in comparative terms to, other health care, privately purchased health care, it's going to be, again, extraordinarily cheap. So what's everybody going to do? They're going to go to it. They're going to put the major providers out of business, insurance companies, and then before too long, we're just going to have one choice, period.
Well, we saw this past week where Alabama was having everyone that wanted to go to school there bring their medical records and prove their shots were up to date. You're in the government health care system. They say you have to take this mandatory vaccination or else you don't have any health care. Your rights are then deemed practically useless. You will be forced to take these shots. John, if you're with us, one last statement. We've got about 3 minutes left.
Well, one thing I want to wake America up is they will garnish the money out of your bank account. And that, that's in itself is enough to wake us up. I've been beating the bushes trying to wake people up. I've got a mouth, I can't work, but I've got a mouth and I try to run it, but people are just, they don't want to hear it. Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks for joining us. And, yeah, we really need to do an hour on this health care, bring out some of the facts that John and Brad were stating. It sounds like both of those two have really looked into this quite a bit, but
I mean, we always go back to the consolidation of power here. I mean, that's exactly what this is. I mean, there really doesn't seem to be many exceptions to that rule, and this, again, just goes right into that. The government's hijacked finance. Now they're hijacking, health care, and they're going to interconnect all these formerly independent aspects of society into one centralized control grid. Like John was stating, they can garnish your bank account or whatever to get back medical expenses. I mean, that just continues.
We are becoming just a slave to the state without any rights, with a government completely run system, which is socialism in action. And just what has transpired since Obama took office, or even if you want to go back to this time last year to right now, it is amazing, and the American people need to wake up, like what Brad was saying and John was saying, and look into this for themselves, because it is a scary time here in America, and with jobs evaporating and the government just trying to take over and take over and take over more and more. If the people don't wake up and rise up and say enough's enough, where are we going to be at a year from now?
George Orwell, Huxley, Brave New World, these were truly visionaries.
Yeah.
They really were.
They were. We've got just a couple of minutes left before we go off the air, and Again, September, we're going to be doing our series on the Constitution. I urge everyone to look into that, listen. We're trying to line up some really credible guests. We think it'll make for some interesting radio. And, again, the LibertyNewsRadio.com, you can go to it. All the archives are free. You can listen to a rebroadcast of this or last week's show or any of the hosts that they have there. And until next week, this is Farron and Brian. Ty is away and Jim is away, saying, God help us all.